Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 3rd. It is 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, let's go to here. Let's go here. One last thing. And looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Link is sent out. And as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on the daily chart. One right there. 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 Let's go down to the 8-hour. There. 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 Down to the 4-hour. There. 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 Going down to the 2-hour. Down to the 1-hour. Down to the 30-minute. Color this red. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right. So we got all that right there marked up with liquidity. First level liquidity above is going to be at 37,910, which is up here. And the lower level right here is going to be at 37,828. This lower level might get hit pre-market, but we'll see. We'll come back and take a look at that. But all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Looks like a majority of you guys are here so far. Today's Wednesday, January 3rd. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and mark this up real quick on our clean chart. On the 4-hour real quick, see if there's any structure here for us to look out for. Structure above and structure below. So we got pretty much, yeah, it's pretty close. Price is pretty much in the 4-hour structure right now. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, it's currently in the 4-hour support. We'll see if we need to make any changes as price moves along, but at this moment, that's kind of where it's at. Looking over here at news for today, we had news at 4 o'clock and 5:55, so that's pretty much it for right now. 4 o'clock. It's right there. And 5:55. Just right there. And 5:55. All right, guys. So market is going to open in about 10 seconds. So we'll see over here. We currently have a buy signal. So if you get a strong green candle on open, this will technically be the breakout version 1 entry. Again, you kind of want to be a little careful with entries here if the market's moving kind of fast, which it is right now. It's kind of given. Yeah, because at this point it's a bit overextended, as you guys can see. This candle's huge. It's pushed up maybe like 500 pips from this lower point right here. Price is pushed up about 700 pips. So again, if you guys are looking to take the breakout version 1, you're looking for a strong green candle here, meaning a green candle with little to no wick on the top side. Right here's a huge wick, so this probably won't be the breakout, possibly the next candle that follows. So that's it for right there. We have news at 7 o'clock, and that's pretty much it. Markup 7 o'clock over here for news. So it does not look like we're going to get a breakout on this first candle right here. Yeah, there's no breakout there. The candle there is way too big. So you look for the next following candle that has a strong green candle, but there's no breakout here. So here goes, price comes back down. You can see this huge green candle or this huge green wick. This is pretty much what we were expecting. Whenever you see a huge wick like that, you'll see some back and forth movement. And that's kind of what happened right here, right? Price came up, gave a huge wick, spike right back down. If we get a strong green candle on this one right here, then this could possibly be the the breakout version 1 if it does come up. There's no breakout version 3s coming up anytime soon. As you guys can see, it's we currently have a buy signal already, so there's not going to be any breakout version 3s here, at least not yet. So no strong green candle there. This is technically a V1 variation if anybody's looking for that, but I think everything's pretty much bullish, so I wouldn't really look for any sells right now. It's a little too risky. Also, price is currently in the 4-hour support level, so I think price will push up eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time until it does. So again, just keep that in mind. We mark up opening price right here. All right, so I'll probably be looking for some buys here because price is in the support level, so it's probably going to continue pushing up higher. Again, if this candle closes with a strong green candle, little to no wick on top side, this is going to be the breakout version 1. There's no sessions nearby, but there's news price right there. It's the only thing really holding back. So yeah, again, right here, the wick on the top is a little too big, so I wouldn't consider this the breakout version 1. It's just a little too big. And size of the wick is in comparison to the body. So the body right here is maybe like double the size of this wick, so that's considered too big. There's no entries here. ATR is currently 15, so it's looking pretty decent right now so far. The trend hasn't really confirmed yet. Once the trend confirms, you can start looking for a momentum pullback scalp, which has not come up yet. So again, right here, I'm going to take a look at the chart from Asia session to see how, or not Asia session, from London to see how it was moving. Okay, so market was actually bearish for London session right here. So what you might get here, and I'll just look on the 5-minute. So what we might get here is because price was bearish is you might get an initial bullish push and then it might come back down. So what I like to see, or what I typically look for, is how price moved during London session, which was bearish. Typically what you'll see here during New York session is you'll see price kind of come down a bit, push up slightly, and then it'll continue coming back down. That's typically what happens. So it's kind of conflicting right now because the bias right now is bullish for the most part, but I think price can possibly come back down further. So if you guys want to continue looking for sells here, I think sells would actually be okay. So if this here closes with the sell signal and it's a strong red candle, this could possibly be a breakout for a sell. So I think price will probably continue pushing down. That's one thing that you want to look at, because usually price continues what London starts. So London started a bearish push here. Price already pushed up slightly, and then now it's coming back down. So we might be able to get some sells here today, actually. So I'm not gonna knock any sells for today. If I see any good sells, I'll take them. But I'm gonna look for both ways. So I think price hasn't really swung to the upside just yet. So what I'm seeing here is that price might just kind of consolidate here for a bit before it actually chooses a direction. So right here, if this closes with a red candle, this could possibly be, so this is the breakout version 1 right here. Breakout version 1 is currently running for a sell. I probably would wait for a confirmation. So I would look for a breakout version 3, like a confluence, because there's no confluence up here that price is going to continue dropping, right? There's no V1 pattern up here indicating that a reversal has happened and it's ready to come down. So I'd probably look for a V3 variation here. And if you see a V3 variation, I would probably even just go for a partial. I'd go for 100 pips versus the full 300 because, obviously you can see how price is moving here. It's not really moving too smoothly. So yeah, if you guys want to take it, maybe like 100 pips would be fine. But I'm going to wait a little bit. I'll let it breathe here. Maybe just catch the last push of maybe this breakout version 1 down here. Let me see how far it's at. I'm just waiting for some confirmations here. All right, so let me see if I get the last push of the 100 pips here. It's just too spiky right now. If you look over here at FTMO or MT4 and TradingView, it looks like the candles aren't even moving the same. It looks very unusual how like these candles here are spiking back and forth so much. So I'm holding off on it right now. I'm trying to catch like maybe the last push, like a partial push to the downside, like maybe just the last 100 pips right here if I can get it. But it's not very smooth right now. It's kind of going back and forth a lot. So I'm going to watch it here and I'll see how far it pushes down. The spread right now is 190. Yeah, this thing's kind of moving around. The MT4 price is not aligned with or MT whatever the candles are. The candles aren't aligned with TradingView over here. Not really looking so great. So I'm still just watching this here. If it continues to drop down lower, so if it drops down to this lower point right here, I'll probably hop in for like 100 pips and just finish the move if possible. But yeah, you guys can see the candles here. I'll probably just wait for the next entry if it provides another opportunity. So if it just ranges around this area, I'll look for it to come back down and then look to catch like the lower push to the downside. But right now it just kind of looks like it's super messy. Yeah, Rashida said she got out. Maddie said he's sitting and he's just waiting right now. Probably the best decision because right now there's just not really much of a direction. Again, I think the biggest problem here is the fact that it's at the 4-hour support. I think this is where I kind of would be more, I'd prefer to take a buy here. But if price continues dropping, I mean, there's still a lot of space right here for price to continue dropping lower. It's just the zone here is so huge that it's hard to, it's really hard to tell where price is going to go. Because I mean, price can push down to the lower level here. But again, it could not push down to that level. Let me see if there's any other zones here. I kind of want to clean this up a little bit, but it's just too messy. There's too many zones here. So if I was to take this off here, there'd be a zone down here, be a zone right here. It just doesn't look too good. So yeah, plus the candles here on open were just, I mean, they were just way too messy. So let me just clean this up a little bit. I don't want you guys to kind of like fall into these trades here. So price never came back to this area. I didn't really get in for that little push to the downside. But this here is it's just a messy market on open. This is why I don't like taking the breakout. I never really recommend taking the breakout for anybody. I think the only person here who really takes a breakout is Steven, but I don't even think he takes it properly. He kind of just hops in where he wants. Gotcha, Steven. Yeah, so Steven got out of it. Steven took the breakout. But again, like I mentioned, the trades here, or not just the trades in general, but the breakout is a very risky trade unless you really know what you're doing. And when I see Steven enter the trades, he has like 3 or 4 entries, which it shouldn't be like, but there should be like one solid entry to take. And the candles are just moving too fast and back and forth. This is the downside about having too high volatility Volatility right now is currently 19. It's a lot higher than what we're usually used to, which is around like 15. And the problem with this volatility is that it's not a consistent push, right? Volatility is good when price is consistently going up or consistently going down, right? That's good volatility. If you have high volatility and price is going back and forth like it is right here, price went up initially, came down, now it's going back up. It's just in a huge range. So this volatility is not necessarily good because when you get caught in this volatility, I mean, you can be on the wrong side of the market very easily. So other than that, we will continue looking. Let's see. Randy said high-low V2. Yeah, I mean, technically there could be a high-low V2 right here, but I don't like to look at the high lows that come up before market open. So market open right here at 6:30. I would only look for the high lows that happen after market open. So like, for example, this would be one right here that I'd look at. This one down here and this one right here. These right here, I wouldn't necessarily look at because these happen pre-market. So I usually don't look at the pre-market high lows. I only look at the ones that happen after 6:30, the high lows. I never look at the ones that happen before them because a lot of stuff happens pre-market that you just don't have control over. Plus, the volatility is too low. You compare this volatility compared to pre-market here, there's like no movement. It's a consolidation phase. And then right here, it's just a huge range. So I personally wouldn't look at these high-low V2 scalps or any high lows in this area. Only anything that happens after 6:30, which would be like maybe this one right here. So this is going to be and I'll go to my other chart. This is our main chart. And this is the high-low scalp V2 chart. But, back to the breakouts, guys, I personally don't like taking the breakouts because you can see right here that there's a lot of fake outs in both directions. You could have gotten faked out in a breakout to the upside. You could have gotten faked out to the breakout to the downside. That's why I look for breakout continuations. I don't look for just the original breakout. I usually just let the original breakout kind of play through, and then I use it as a confluence to continue looking for the next following move. There's just no confluences. So like right here, for example, there's no double bodies. So there's no confirmation that price was actually going to come down. And then same with down here, there's no double bodies down here. So there's nothing really indicating that, okay, price is ready to reverse and go to the upside, right? Realistically, price is just going back and forth. It just ping pongs from this point to this point, to this point, to this point, etc. Right. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off the 4-hour support level. I don't think it's very useful for us here. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to draw the 1-minute levels of support and resistance because I think this is going to be a lot more useful for us here to look at as price continues to obviously move along. So we currently have a level up here because if you want to trade within the range, you can. So like price bounce, 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 and then right here again, price might bounce right back up, right? So we'll kind of see where price goes from here. As it bounces around from this point. This here could just bounce off this point, swing right back up, or it can come back down. I mean, there's different areas where price can go, but it is a little tricky with current movement. Yeah, the price is kind of just bouncing back and forth from where it's currently at, so it's kind of hard to tell where it's going to go. I mean, price can fake out from that bottom and swing right back up, or it can break below and continue dropping, but that's going to be considered the support level currently until there's a new one. And you can see right there that price is faking out a little bit before, making its continued push. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a tricky area right here. So we'll see if there's another support level that gets established. I mean, if it does, then we'll continue looking, but I'd be careful with any entries here at the moment. There was a high-low scalp that came up right here. But again, I'm just kind of sitting back. I don't even know if I want to take any trades today because of the way that the market's currently moving. There's just, I feel like there's a lot of trickiness that's, kind of playing the market. Like, for example, price faked out right here. The breakout came through. Price faked out, came back up, and then now it's coming back down. I do think price will probably follow through with like what happened during London session. So like the same thing that I drew earlier, right? There was just a huge fake out right here. So the same thing that I drew earlier. So on this chart, if you want to turn on the sessions, you can turn on the sessions to see where price is blocked out. But we already know where London session starts, which is going to be midnight. So midnight, which is right here. And if you guys ever want to do this on your chart, you go from like midnight up until say 5:30, or it overlaps, so like 6:30. So if you were to take everything off the charts right here, like if you want to have a good idea where price will likely go long term for the day, it's probably gonna be bearish, right? Because London session over here was bearish. And that's kind of where I see where price is likely to continue pushing, if it continues to go in that direction. So that's kind of the direction that price is going during London. And odds are right here that it's probably going to, usually it goes the opposite way first, and then it corrects back down. That's usually, and we didn't really have that big push up, but you can see over here that price did come down slightly, came up slightly, and came back down. And I think it's just going to slowly make its way down further. But yeah, I think we'll take a look at this too, just to have an idea of, so like I mentioned before, typically what I do in the market is I try to look for reasons not to take a certain trade, right? And, for example, here, retail sentiment is super high for a buy. So of course I would want to look for a buy, but the trend over here, the direction is still bearish. So it's a toss up. There's not really much of a bias today, because if you look over here for a long-term trend, you can see the 1 minute is bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, everything's bearish. The only difference here that's bullish is the retail sentiment. So that's kind of what's tricky here, because you can get caught faked out on both sides. If you're looking for a sell here, you get caught out on the fake out. If you're looking for a buy here because of retail sentiment, you can get caught in a fake out. It's just tricky because you never know when price is going to stop dropping. Like price will drop slightly, and then you probably want to look for a V1 variation, which we haven't had. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So the main confluence that I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a double body. So I'm looking for a double body rejection, because when I see that, then if I see a V3 breakout continuation, that's going to be, the confluence that I'm looking for. Like if I see a double body here, the price swings up, and then say, for example, I get a V3 breakout continuation right here, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a buy at this point, right? I'm not just going to take it if it shows up. I'm going to be looking for some sort of confluence to confirm that price is actually reversing, because there's just no reversal here yet. Price just continues to go back and forth. Like, for example, down here, price is currently at a new lower low. It just keeps establishing new lower lows, lower low, lower low, lower low. And at this point, we're like, okay, where's the actual lower low at? Because if that's the case, then there's just going to be a bunch of levels down here, right? So there's another lower low right here. There's currently 2 support levels. And then there's going to be another one right here if this continues to drop lower. So it's just a matter of time until it starts to swing, back to the upside. Liquidity over here got hit, if anybody caught it. So liquidity here got hit a little earlier today. We're actually right on open, right here at 636. I don't think there's any lower levels of liquidity here. There's another level right here, actually. Price does continue to drop lower from this point. Let's see, you guys are asking about the momentum pullback scalp. Let's take a look. Let's go back to our main chart here. So, all right, we had a sell signal right here. Price was bearish. Let me pull up the levels. Yeah, so this one right here would have been valid. I'm not sure if it would have went, well, I mean, either way, it looks like it still would have hit TP regardless. Yeah. So this one here was valid if anybody was looking for the momentum pullback scalp. This is one of the main strategies that we're following. I wasn't paying attention to the chart, because I just wasn't in the mood to like get caught in these fake outs here. But as you can see over here, price came down. We had a sell signal, price came down, pulled back up. There would be no entry over here because the sell signal was at this point. So when price decided to come back down right here, this green candle would be the retracement. The entry would have happened right here at the 10 mark. Price would have came up, filled it, and went straight to TP. So this right here would be considered a momentum pullback scalp entry. I would have taken it, but I don't know. I'm just not feeling the market today. The market is just, yeah, it's not really moving too smoothly at all. Yeah, and then we got some high impact news coming too. Yeah, Randy said the momentum pullback scalp threw him off because it printed a lower high coming up. Yeah, this market today I think is like super tricky, guys. Personally, I'm probably just gonna sit out. I'll continue to analyze like entries, but I don't really feel like dabbling into the market, getting caught in, fake outs here, of course. So I'll continue to look for entries here, but it's just one of those days where like you just if you don't feel comfortable trading in the market, you shouldn't trade, right? Even for me being here on the live session, I know like I kind of have the pressure to take a trade because you guys want to see me trade with you guys, but when the market's moving like this and it's just very erratic, it's best to just sit back and watch. Um, you guys are free to take trades though, so I'll continue to analyze, and if I see any good trades, I'll mark them up for you guys. If I see really good trades, I'll take them myself. But for the most part, I think I'm going to take the back seat today. I'm just going to analyze. I'll provide any opportunities for entries. Right here, there may be a breakout V3 continuation, but again, I'm just kind of like iffy about it because we're currently in a downwards trend. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean that price won't continue pushing up because retail sentiment here is super high. It's 83%. So if you guys are new here and you guys aren't familiar with IG sentiment, this indicates where the retail traders are currently trading right now. It's currently 80% short. So this indicates that 83% of retail traders are selling. Majority of retail traders don't do well at trading, so you typically want to do opposite of what everybody else is doing. So if everybody's selling, you want to catch the push to the upside because odds of it pushing up are very likely. So we got a double body right here. This would be considered a V1 pattern. I wouldn't consider it a V1 variation because the bias isn't very bullish. Let's see. Yeah, the bias right now is actually bearish. So this wouldn't be a V1 variation, but it would be a V1 pattern. To double body rejection right here, this is a nice reversal pattern that we look for. If we had a breakout V3 continuation right here, this would be a decent entry. So if this closes green, this is going to be a breakout V3 continuation. So just keep that in mind. There's no green candle there. So unfortunately, there's no breakout V3 continuation. This would have been an entry though, if this would have closed green here, because this would have been a nice confluence. Double body for reversal, continuation of momentum right here. Odds of it pushing up higher would have been very likely. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, one second, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so that guy said, keep in mind once it gets into the 80% area, it gets a bit iffy. I've seen the charts start to follow sentiment around 85% towards either side. Yeah, and I agree with you too, because I don't like it when it's super one-sided, right? I think 80%, anything above 80% is like a little too far on one side. Like it's just way too far because you guys got to always keep in mind that the market's not going to be it's not going to be super straightforward. So right here, even though a bunch of retail traders are selling, this doesn't mean price is just going to shoot to the upside forever, because if that happens, then the retail traders are just going to give up, right? You can't just keep screwing with retail traders and never give them some wins, because if you do that, then they're just not going to want to trade, of course. They're going to think the system is rigged, which I do think it's a bit rigged. But if you know how to work the system, then you can prevent yourself from getting caught in those types of directions and moves. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said you got to give him some hope. Exactly. I agree with you too, 100%. Okay, Nick, I know. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and then Maddie said stop them out when they're happy. Exactly. So that's typically what I see happening right here. I know price because I think yesterday people are getting pretty much slaughtered in the market. If you guys remember how we traded probably the last week of the year and yesterday, price went super against retail sentiment, right? So like I'm pretty sure a lot of retail traders are kind of pissed off about getting stopped out, or so like now they have to give them some hope. They need to give them some wins because I'm sure if you guys have traded before you got your guys' consistency, it wasn't very linear, right? When you guys are winning, you're not typically winning like before you came to this group, you weren't winning consistently like this, right? You probably win a little bit and then you lose, come back down, win a little bit, lose, come down. And that's the retail trader trap, right? Where you win a little bit, you lose everything. Win a little bit, lose everything. Win a little bit, you have a good week, then horrible week. A good week, then a horrible week. And this is just a cycle that a lot of people end in because that's how retail sentiment works. Retail sentiment is it makes it tough for you to be consistent because if you're trading how everybody else is trading, yeah, you're gonna have like a couple days or a couple weeks where you're doing okay, and then your strategy just stops working. That's why for us we have a bunch of different tools here where we use confluences to identify a lot of different things to prevent us from getting caught in those losses. So haven't taken any trades today. I'm kind of just sitting back waiting. What's today? Today's Wednesday. I get my yeah, I'm kind of like tempted to like request my payout today from FTMO because I don't want to risk anything um moving forward, of course. Because I haven't gotten my payout yet. So I'm thinking if I should do my payout today, but it's still kind of early in the week, so maybe not today. Probably do it tomorrow. I know we'll see how the market's moving tomorrow, and then I'll probably make my decision from there. The only thing that sucks about getting a payout is that you can't trade for a day. So I usually try to set my payout for like Thursday or Friday. And then the payout happens like within one day or two. So so if you guys we have a lot of newly funded people in the group. If you guys kind of want to time it around there, I think with FTMO you can change your payout date like twice. And then you just have to message them in the future if you want to change it again. But I try to like set mine around the 15th, like middle of the week or middle of the month, where I get my payout like on a Thursday or a Friday. So we'll see. Yeah, Nick said almost the end of the week. If I were you, I'd wait till Friday. Yeah, usually I wait till Friday. It's just kind of a weird week because it's a holiday, so they're kind of behind. Like for holiday weeks, a lot of these funding companies are kind of behind with payouts, so they take 2 days. So sometimes I'll do like a Thursday, they'll take Thursday, Friday, or sometimes they're like super quick. It just depends on how many people are requesting a payout. But anyways, guys, back to the chart. There's nothing for us to take here right now. There's no V1 pattern over here. So we might get a breakout V3 continuation. However, there's news right here at 7 o'clock, so I'd be careful. The news right here at 7 o'clock is going to be the ISM manufacturing new orders, prices, employment, PMI. So basically a bunch of inflation news right here. We have JOLTS job quits, JOLTS job openings. They're forecasted to be, so I'll look at the high impact ones. ISM manufacturing employment is forecasted to be bullish. PMI forecasted to be bullish. JOLTS job quits forecasted to be negative, and job openings forecasted to be positive. So majority of the news here for high impact is forecasted to be positive. Um, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. All right, we got news coming up right here. And let's see where price ends up going. So again, guys, I'm just waiting. If I see anything good here, I'll take the trades. But like I said, the market today is just like this right here kind of threw me off. This initial push on open, I was kind of hoping to maybe follow it to the upside or follow it to the downside. Um, I think I'm leaning more towards sells today, but it's not really smooth. Like if you guys look at the market, it's not really smooth at all. You guys can see the fake out right here. Price drop below the support, faked out again right here. Price drop below the support. And again, it's just faking out again right here. So a lot of fake outs, a lot of what is today, Wednesday? It's kind of like Trap Tuesday. Sisu calls it Wacky Wednesday sometimes. Basically, we're a day out of the week because we trade on Monday. So basically, today's like is this week's Trap Tuesday, and you can see a lot of the traps being set up over here, which is a given. It's like it's nothing new. It's kind of what we were expecting. All right, so we got news right here on this candle. You can see prices pushing up. I'm assuming the news was positive. So it's pretty mixed. We have manufacturing employment, which was positive, PMI, which is positive. So basically the high impact news over here was positive. And then the JOLTS job openings and quits are both negative. It's pretty much mixed news. So there's not really much that you can take away from it. And you can see right here, prices getting faked out in both ways. Huge spike right here with this huge wick. Yeah, it's a nasty candle. So this is why we don't trade news, because you can see right here that, one change in the news that can highly affect the market. It was positive initially, so price initially pushed up, and then the JOLTS jobs openings came out and it was super negative. So price came up and it was like, nope, came right back down. So it's tough. Yeah, I kind of said to try switching the server on MC4. I think I want to do that because my candles are, let me check real quick. So my candles are back to normal. So what happens with MC4 is that they automatically shift sometimes. They automatically shift. They automatically shift to whatever is the best server. So right now I'm like on one server and it's looking okay, but it's looking a little better. So earlier in the session, guys, I was looking at the candles, and the candles on MC4 were like completely different from trading view. Like they were like super, super delayed. Um, but now it's looking fine. So that's like another thing too. Like if you guys ever look at your trading view and you look at, or you look at my trading view and you look at your MC4, and it's like the candles are super different, like they're very delayed or laggy. Um, it's probably a sign to kind of chill and sit back for a little bit, because when that happens, uh, it becomes an issue, because if you enter a trade on TradingView, it's not going to get you in at the same price on MC4. And a lot of people have been caught in a situation like that, where it's just it just destroys someone's account sometimes. So especially if you're not paying attention. If you're like paying attention and like manually entering and exiting, then you can possibly get away with it. But for the most part, a lot of people are not paying attention. They're hoping that it hits their TP. And sometimes they'll go right past your TP, not even close you out, because your entry time and entry point was like way different. All right, so again, there's no entries here. As you can see, price again is just going back and forth. There's nothing for us to, really see or do here. All right, so let's continue to look for what else is going on here. Let's see. C6 said, Sean, look at your support and resistance on the 1 minute. You called it. Yeah, so you guys can see the fake outs right here. So I drew like the zones right here, and you guys can see the fake outs that are happening on both sides. It's just not the type of market that I really want to trade in, because there's not really much of a direction. You can see I drew two zones right here. Price came down, faked out, came back up, faked out, came back down, faked out. It doesn't even close like right at the line. It comes like slightly above it, because what's happening here is that it's basically stopping people out in both directions, right? Whoever wants to trade within the range, if your TP stop loss is too small, like for example, you wanted to catch a trade right here, right? And your TP stop loss is too small. If you followed like our TP stop loss at 1030 split, you'd be okay, because price could push up, it'll go down to your TP. But what a lot of people like to do is they like to enter their trade, like say right here, and they put their stop loss right below the zone, and they get stopped out, of course. because stop loss is just too tight. So if you're using a 1030, like you have a wide enough stop loss, you probably would have survived a lot of these pushes right here. This price would have came down, faked out, swung right back up, came down, faked out, swung right back up. And same with this up here. But here, let me see if there's any other zones here. I'm not going to draw these lower zones because it's kind of pointless, but you guys can kind of see right here. This is the current range on the 1 minute. And there's not really much of a confirmation. So if I'm going to look to take any trades here, I'll be looking for price to push out of this area and maybe come back to retest this upper zone up here. That's like ideal location for me. But right now I'm just going to be patient and disciplined and just wait for wait for price to really come to me, because this area here is not an area that I'd recommend trading in. I like, again, right here, this could be another fake out and price might pull back into the zone again. It might not, who knows? There's not really no telling where price is going right now. There hasn't been any breakout V3 continuation. So like we mentioned before, there's only two official strategies that we typically look for here. We look for momentum pullback scalps. That's what we consider one of the official strategies that I try to focus on. And the breakout V3 continuations. We also look at high-low scalps, but I mean, obviously you can see right here, there's no high-low scalps that are coming up. So that's kind of irrelevant here. So there's basically like four official strategies that we look at. Momentum pullback scalp, breakout V3 continuation. And then over here, we'll look at some high-low scalps. If the high-low scalp comes up on a higher high, that's one that I typically look for. I don't really like looking at high lows, but higher highs are good, or lower lows. And then also for the high-low scalp V2s. But there's no trend here. You guys can see the pivots. There's no trend. So we can't really use these levels here as high-low scalp levels, at least not yet. Not until the trend here is confirmed. So, all right, we are pretty much just waiting. William is asking, but MT4 and FT more are the same. Yeah, MT4 and FT more are the same because they are the same. There's no difference between MT4 and FTMO. They're the same platform. TradingView and MT4 are the platforms. FTMO is just using MT4 as their platform. So, guys, I know like a lot of people get confused, but MT4 and FTMO they're the same thing. There's no difference. So like it's always going to be the same. The only difference is TradingView and MT4 because they're two different platforms. So just want to clear that up so you guys don't get that mixed up. The only difference that you'll see is between TradingView and MT4. MT4, so like I don't know. I was gonna draw something up here, but I don't really need to do that because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Those two they're just separate. They're separate platforms. Kenneth said, dude, sounds like you're sick. I'm sick too. It sucks. Yeah, I know. It's really cold here in California, like this whole week. Just in the mornings, though. Just in the morning. So thankfully, just in the mornings. I'm not really sick. I just have a sore, not really a sore throat. I just have a cough. That's kind of what it is. So yeah, thankfully I'm not sick. Because if I was sick, I'll be on here dying, like trying to get off the live. But I just have a cough, so my voice sounds like shit for the most part. William said we have two Williams now. So William on the Zoom, you're the main William. The other Will's been there for a while. So I'll just call the other Will, and I'll call you William, because he goes by Will, and it's just his name here on YouTube is William, but I know he goes by Will. All right, guys, so we currently have a pending sell signal right here. If we get the sell signal that closes, we might be able to look for a possible momentum pullback scalp. Again, I'm still not too convinced on like how the market's currently moving right now to really take any trades on my own personal accounts. So I'll mark it up for you guys if there's anything good here, but there is I mean, I just don't feel good taking trades here. If you guys don't feel good, then there's no need to force anything. But again, let's take a look at the team profits for the day. So we've got Craig over here. Here's his first account. It's 200K FTMO, total profit of 2,420. Nice work, Craig. All wins there. We have Craig's second account, total profit of 2,810. Great work right there, Craig, on his 100K account. We have Kenny here, total profit of 2,040. All wins there. Nice work, Kenny. We got Valentine, total profit of 1,415. All wins here on his first account. And his second account, total profit of 3,282. Great work, Valentine. We got Kenneth here, total profit of 855 on his Apex account. His second account, total profit of 960. And his third account, total profit of 1,720 for the day. Nice work, Kenneth. And then lastly, huge congrats to Albert over here getting funded on a TFF. So seems like every week here, someone here is getting funded. So another big congrats here, another person in our community, that just trades off our live session here. Takes his own trades, takes my trades, takes pretty much whatever fits his criteria. And yeah, another past member here in K2. So congrats, guys. Yeah, no, you guys have been doing good. I mean, it's good to see a lot of you guys here getting funded because it's just proof of concept, right? If I'm the only person here who's profiting, then that doesn't make the group, right? The group, if other people in the group are passing and getting funded and making profits every day, that's kind of the proof of concept of the group. Because, like, of course, the person who runs their group is supposed to be profitable, right? If he wasn't profitable, people wouldn't follow him. But when you see other people in the group profiting, that's really what you want to see in your group. And you want to make sure that it's consistent. It's not like people profiting one day and then nobody posting profits the next day. Every day someone here is profiting. So we have a possible breakout V3 continuation that's setting up right here, guys. It's right at news price. I'm not going to take this trade. If you guys want to take it, I'll mark it up for you. But again, it's going to be at the support level of like these lower supports. So just keep that in mind if you guys do decide to take this trade. Again, this is going to be the breakout V3 continuation. If anybody is looking to take this, I'm not taking the trade. I consider it a little bit risky, but you can see here that it's pushing through and it looks like it hit full TP. So if anybody caught that right there, great work. I didn't catch it, so it's not going to count as an official trade. I want to be 100% transparent with you guys. I'm not going to force any trades here. If I don't think it's a great trade, I'm not going to take it, but I did mark it up for you guys there. If anybody wanted to take it. So full TP on that trade there. Not going to count as an official trade, but I did give you guys a heads up. Breakout V3 was coming and it went straight through. So nice work, guys, for whoever caught it. Yeah, Patricia said the ATR is still super high, which is, like I mentioned, it's like a double-edged sword. The high ATR is a super double-edged sword because it could be good. So in a situation like this where you have a direction of price, it becomes a good thing because obviously price will just shoot straight through to your TP. This is like the ideal move or the ideal market conditions that you want for our trading strategies because we trade off momentum, right? So if momentum is in the market, you get a momentum signal and you get a confirmation, odds of it pushing through are super likely. So yeah, the ATR is super high. It's like 713 right now. Usually it starts to die down a little bit, but it's still pretty high. So, I think our sweet spot for ATR would probably be between 15 and 20. That's going to be ideal ATR. Anything above 20 might be a little too high. I think 20 to 22 is okay. But like once you get past 25, 24, 25, that's where it gets super high. And at that point, these TP stop losses are going to be very useful. We're going to have to switch it to something higher, something like 25.50, like this, because you're going to have more leeway for price to kind of bounce around. So it's not going to make a big difference. If the ATR stays high, we'll just change our TP stop loss from 1030 to 50, 25.50. So same strategy. It just gives you more space for you to kind of breathe. It'd be nice to use this all the time, but we can't because the volatility isn't always that high. So, all right. Other than that, price is currently at the London and New York low right now. So currently at the low point, and we'll see where this goes. Kenneth said calling it a day, happy with his profits. See y'all tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Kenneth, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, Kenneth did pretty good. So Kenneth made a leap. He was on Top Step before. Now he's on Apex, and he did pretty good. So he locked in about like 3,000 for the day in profit across his accounts. We have Natasha here with some more profits, total profit of 180 for the day, all wins. So as you guys can see, a lot of people here are taking trades, but they're not necessarily taking the trade that I'm taking, right? Like I'm just giving analysis here. And if it falls in with your analysis, then you can take the trade. And Natasha here took the breakout V3 continuation. You can see the sell. She just took it. That was this trade right here that just came up. So great work, Natasha, on catching that, getting your profit, and then pulling out properly. Let's check liquidity over here. Yes, so the next level of liquidity here got hit as well. Nathan just called it out. So if you guys get here early enough, I don't know if anybody, like, if you guys get here too late, you're probably not going to see the levels of liquidity. But if you guys get here early enough, I mark up liquidity every morning. Just get on the live session like as early as possible, around 6:30 or 6:20 actually, and I'll have this marked up for you guys. All right, as price continues to drop lower, we might get a momentum pullback scalp. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, so Rashida took this huge move right here, actually. She took the London entry, basically followed the London push. So she had these levels over here marked up. She had price kind of retrace up. She's doing pretty much like what we were looking for. This is what I marked up for you guys earlier. You know, you look at London session, it was bearish. Price kind of pushed up a little bit, came back down, pushed back up, and consolidated here for a second, and then she got into it. And she pretty much just rode this down. This on the 15-minute time frame. Nice work, Rashida. Yeah, solid profit right there. So, you know, every so often I kind of like give you guys hints of things that I know. I have a lot of knowledge in my in my head. So like it's hard for me to teach everything to you guys. But you know, whenever I think that it's going to be beneficial for us, I'll introduce it to you guys because I know a lot of stuff. Like I've been trading for like 11 years now. So I know so much information that it's hard for me to kind of just figure out what do I need to teach you guys. But like I showed you guys today, if you guys want to go on the 5-minute chart, this is usually the good sweet spot. I mean, you can go on the higher time frame, but I think the 5-minute is good. The 1 minute's too small, so it's kind of hard to see sometimes. But if you ever want to take a look, just mark up London session. See, you can see over here, the 1 minute is just too far out. It's too hard to draw up London session. If you go on the 5-minute here, it's a different story. You go on the 5-minute, you mark up the London session here, and you can see where price is going to the downside. So if that's the case, you can kind of have an idea that, okay, price is probably going to continue dropping, you know, further. All right, it looks like Maddie over here confirmed that there is a momentum pullback scalp entry that has came up. So right here, we have a sell signal. Trend is bearish. This price right here retraced up. The entry would have happened right here. I think price is definitely, it's very overextended. So I don't know if this is one that I would really recommend taking, but let me just measure it real quick to see if how overextended it is. So from this higher high right here, yeah, it's for sure just, it's a little too overextended. If it goes past 1,000 pips, so at this point, I would consider it overextended. 1,000 pips is, okay, this is like way too far down. And this is a problem because when it does push up, it's probably going to push up quite a bit before it ends up coming down further. So in order for me to identify if price is overextended, what I typically do is I go to the nearest higher, whatever high point is, usually a higher high. So the higher high is right here, and I just draw a marker to see how far price has dropped. From this retracement here, price has dropped 1,270 pips. So it's a little too far down for me personally, for my liking. I mean, some people still take them, but I like to see some sort of retracement before I take the entry. So I'm not in any positions. It's just a little too it's too crazy for me today to want to get into any of these positions. Kenneth is asking, what was the ATR last January? So I'm not sure if we were using ATR around that time last year, but it was high. It was for sure high. And the only reason I know that, Kenny, is because because of our trades, right? If you look at our trades from last January, our TPs were super high. They were like 500 pips, 1,500 pips, 250 pips. This is how I know the ATR was high, because we were going for bigger moves. So if we go for bigger moves, it's pretty much a given that the ATR for that month was like super high. So it looks like ATR was super high from January up until February, and then it started to die down in March. So March we still used at 250, and then in April it went down completely. We went back to 1030 splits. So I'm pretty sure that the ATR was about the same last January. The good thing is that now that we're using ATR and I created this new indicator for you guys, we can pull back. So like say January 2025 comes around and you guys are curious what the ATR was for January 2024. You'll just pull up the YouTube channel and then pull up my live session from January. And then you can just look down at the screen and it'll show you exactly where the ATR is. So I don't know the exact ATR, but I'm pretty sure it was about the same because our TP stop loss was super wide, 25.50. All right, so this momentum pullback scalp is still running, as you guys can see. These are the trades that you don't want to get caught in because you can see how it's going back and forth. The worst part about this is that the ATR is actually really high and it's still ranging. So the ATR is currently 19 right now, as you can see from the bottom, but price is still ranging. Usually it only ranges when it's below 15, but and you can see here it started to drop down a little bit. Went from 19 to 18 to 17 back to 18. And it's just, it's kind of just trapped in this back and forth movement here. It's just a bit of a tricky market. It's tricky because the sentiment here is so one-sided. Like we talked about earlier, I like it better when it's like below 80. Like 70 to 75 is good. When it gets above 80, it's kind of too one-sided. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 200 points. So it's pretty bearish right now. And I think that's about it. So this conflicts. Retail sentiment is bearish. Fundamentals are bearish. Technicals here are also bearish into the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. Lower time frames are all bearish. Prices below the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling down. Same with the higher time frames as well. 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour is starting to shift to bearish. And here goes the same entry that we've been looking at. The momentum pullback scalp, it's still going back and forth. If I was in this position, I'd be really annoyed because the ATR is so high, you'd expect it to just spike down and hit your TP, but it's not. It's going back and forth. I think eventually it'll come down and probably hit TP, but you guys can see here, this would be super annoying because you're basically waiting, like you're hoping that price will just push up and spike to your TP like it did yesterday when we took the trade. But this right here is it's just snail movement. It's back and forth. This is where it gets kind of tricky because when it goes back and forth like this, you're not sure if price is going to spike down or if price is going to spike up, right? And it kind of gets a little nerve-wracking. You start to get a little nervous, and then you end up pulling out too early. And you guys have seen that happen to me before. Sometimes price will get close to your TP here. I'll just pull out for a small profit, and then eventually go straight down to a TP. So, all right, not too much going on here. We currently do have a trend here now. So, if anybody's looking for some high-low scalps, that would be the closest level, looks like. Another level right here. There's 2 levels here. So at 2 levels, it's still okay. When it gets down to 3 levels, obviously it's in a range and it's kind of tricky. And I wouldn't want to mess with it. So it looks like price is just consolidating here now. It's currently consolidating around the support level. It just needs to drop a little bit more. If it drops a little bit more, it'll come down and hit TP. But yeah, okay. So you guys can see down here, the ATR is dying down completely now. And this goes hand in hand with the time. So if you guys remembered, I mentioned that like usually my cutoff trading time is like 7:30, and you can see right now it's 7:24. It's getting closer to 7:30, and that's where the ATR is starting to die down like tremendously. It was like at 20 earlier. It was at 22, went down to 20, went down to 18, 17, 16. Now it's going down to 15. And this is exactly what I'd be worried about, right? because price just keeps going back and forth. You don't know if price is going to go down to hit your TP or if it's going to go up. And then again, right here, it just continues to play with whoever is like holding any positions here. But there's nothing here right now. Price is rejecting directly off the sessions right here. So hopefully nobody was in that position for that momentum pullback scalp. This thing would have went on for like, let's see. Entry would have happened right here. So it would have ran for at least like 10 minutes. And it was too close to the sessions too right there. All right, let me take this off the chart. Again, guys, I haven't taken any entries today. Today's just one of those days where I don't feel comfortable taking any trades because of how market is moving. Which obviously is pretty much, there's no direction today. So if you look over here on our clean chart, it looks like price was bearish, but really there's not really too much direction. Price just keeps going back and forth between these two ranges here. All right, so if this here closes with a green candle, this will be a breakout B3 continuation. It's not one that I would personally want to take because there's no confluence for me here. So I would want to see like a V1 pattern over here or something like that. There's no double body. So it just wouldn't meet my criteria for confluence, but it is running right now. Right there for anybody who decided to take the breakout B3 continuation. And it looks like it would have hit TP there. So if anybody caught that solid, I personally would have went for this more than I would have went for the momentum pullback scalp because again, like I mentioned, this was overextended. It's another one of the red flags, right? Sessions are one of the red flags and overextension. I think those are two of the biggest red flags that you guys want to look out for. Because when price is overextended, it has to pull back at some point. Pullback happened right here. Full TP on this, and then this can easily just make its way back down from there. All right, we'll continue looking. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. But it seems like not really much anybody's looking to take any trades right now. Looking at the ATR, it's starting to drop down, so it's going to slow down a bit. You're probably going to see a lot more range and consolidation. Not really expecting too much to happen from here up until 8 o'clock. All right, Van Harwig, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So Van Harwig's all done for the day as well. We have more team profits here from Andrew. Andrew said, always lost big on Wednesday, sitting out today. It's always been an issue for me knowing when not to trade. Yes, so Andrew over here, and this is why I think, so if you guys haven't started journaling your trades, I do recommend you guys journal your trades because journaling your trades here it's going to make the biggest difference. Like Andrew over here said that Wednesdays have been like, you know, his biggest losing days. And for today, he just decided, okay, he's just going to chill. So he has no trades for the day, but he's up 2,000 per account for the week. So if you guys ever find that your problem, like if you know that you always lose on Tuesdays or you always lose on Wednesdays or you always lose on Thursdays, just don't trade on those days, right? So Andrew over here, he's good with profit for the week and he decided not to take anything for today. So nice work, Andrew. I think that's a big leap for someone to realize that, okay, I suck trading on Wednesdays, so I'm just not going to trade on Wednesdays. Because I feel with a lot of people, it's a psychology game, right? You feel like you need to trade every day. You feel like you need to hop into every single trade, and it just messes with your psychology. But once you have control of it, and you're like, okay, I suck trading on Tuesdays or I suck trading on Thursdays, I'm just not going to trade on those days. So. All right, if there's anything else here for us to look at, let's take a look. I don't think there's anything here right now. We do have some more team profits from Natasha. So Natasha locked in another trade, total profit of 270. She locked in that breakout V3 continuation for a buy for a partial. Nice work right there, Natasha. The thing with Natasha here is that you guys need to understand is that she's trading on her phone with no chart. She's just listening to me analyze. And when I call out a trade, she'll be taking it. It sounds like she's looking for all of the breakout V3 continuations. She gets in real quick, locks in her profit, pulls out, and it's pretty amazing what Natasha is able to do with just her phone and no charts. So nice work, Natasha. We got Jeff here over here. He locked in a total profit of 2140 for the day. Some small losses here on open, and then he made it right back. So nice recovery right there, Jeff. Back to the charts over here. Not really much else for us to look at. It's so Rashida mentioned a momentum pullback scalp. So right here, I wouldn't take any buys for any momentum pullback scalps because the trend is currently bearish. So I would only be looking for sells for the momentum pullback scalp right now. Unless like this started to shift up higher. So if this shifted up higher to this point, then okay, I'll start looking for some buys. But right now, the trend is still bearish at the moment. Let's see, Martha said, no trades for me today, missed an entry for the high-low scalp that she was looking for. Yeah, it's all good. It happens sometimes. You know, sometimes the trade happens so quickly that you miss it completely. And it's better to have that, no trades, than to have any losses. So I would have agreed with you there too, Martha. I haven't had any trades either, so it's all good. I'm not really getting any FOMO because I see how the market's moving from a far back perspective, and it's just the market's not moving too smooth today. So I think like if I was to take any trades today and I would have won, I would have felt lucky. I wouldn't have felt like I I really analyzed the markets properly. Because right here, there's not really too much movement. It's going back and forth a lot. We have a new structure right here. So you can see at this point that we just have a new range. So we had an earlier range right here. Price is down here. We have a new range down here. Yeah, Natasha said thank you because you said the market was not stable, so she decided to take partials only. Yeah, it's better to have some profit than no profit, right, Natasha? So you locked in some pretty good profit for the day. 270. Martha over here said, yeah, my FOMO is so much better this year. Yeah, that's usually the thing, Martha. Like usually, like, your first 2 years, it's really getting your trade psychology down and getting your FOMO kind of under the wraps, right? And then your third year, I think, I don't know, is Maddie still here? Maddie's been trading for only a couple of years now, and he's been doing pretty good with his trade psychology. Also with Johnny too. So Johnny's problem was really like, finding the consistency and understanding how to control his trade psychology. Yeah, Maddie here said he's been here for 2.5 years. So his first year, a lot of getting his trade psychology down, understanding FOMO, learning how to wait for the quality entries. And his second year, he did pretty good. Now his second and a half year, he's starting to really take his stride. If you guys have seen Maddie's account, Maddie has like over 1 million in funding from Apex. And speaking of the devil, I was just talking about Johnny over here. So here's Johnny's funded account on FTMO, total profit of 5,070 for the day. Nice work, Johnny. If you guys saw Johnny's trades before, he would take like 10, 20 trades and it would be a mess. He's now looking at only quality trades here and catching them as they come up. So nice work right there, Johnny. Total profit of 5,000 on his funded FTMO. And yeah, looking over here at Maddie. So Maddie has over 1 million in funded accounts with Apex. So he's come a long way to finding the consistency that he needs to just wrap up wins. Yeah, Andrew said Maddie always told him not to quit. Maddie said he wanted to give up like 10 times. And Johnny said it's a big up and down battle for Johnny. Yeah, well, now you're up, so that's good, Johnny. And I'm glad you didn't give up either. So I remember the last time we talked, not recently, but last year, you were having some trouble with it, but I'm glad that you finally locked it down. All right, guys, so back to the charts over here. I know we kind of went off topic, but there's no entries for us to take here. There's a sell signal. It wasn't followed by a red candle, so there was no breakout V3 continuation. There's technically a high-low scalp right here that kind of came up, but I don't think anybody was looking to take that. It was right at the session, so we consider that a red flag. Not really a good area to trade in right here. But this would have been a high-low scalp pattern type entry. And it looks like it already hit TP or not. Still running, but I wouldn't hop into this late because it is touching the sessions, which is an area of manipulation. All right, so price is coming down. This can be considered a level of liquidity here. If you guys are looking for levels of liquidity on the 1 minute, you guys can see over here, we have a lower low, a high low right here. There's just two lows next to each other. So if you're looking for liquidity at this lower point, like I mentioned before, you can color, well, I'll probably color them green so they're a different color. But this would be considered a level 1 liquidity. So price does come down to this point. This could be considered a level 1 liquidity right here for price to continue dropping. But if you look over here on the clean chart, you can see this is not a good area to trade in. Price just going back and forth. All right, Johnny. Yeah, Johnny said he's done for the day. He's happy with his profit and he's going to call it a day. So, all right, Johnny, we'll see you back here tomorrow. So great profits right there from Johnny, 5,000 on his funded account. Given that Johnny here, so Johnny, he's, I think he failed like maybe, the problem with Johnny is he would fail an account and then he would buy another account, fail another account, buy another account. So he probably failed like maybe 5 accounts until I told him like, you need to limit yourself to like maybe 1 account per month, right? Because if you do that, if you limit yourself to account per month, you know, the upside possibility is very high. I think Johnny's up like 10,000 right now or up to 20,000. So he's pretty much recovered all of his losses. He just needs to stay consistent and then everything above that is profit. So Shannon is asking, is there an opening for some mentorship with Maddie? I'm on an Apex challenge intending to pass this time. You can reach out to Maddie and he can let you know. I think Maddie's accepting people on a rolling basis. He's helped about like 6 or 7 people pass Apex accounts already. So him and Sisuk are probably the masters at Apex. Gotcha. Yeah. So Maddie, I know Maddie just opened a new studio, a barber slash trading studio, which is pretty cool. I can go visit him. Just check that out. So Maddie's a little busy right now, kind of setting it up, his little office studio, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Gotcha, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew said his baby's up, so he's got to wrap it up. Sorry, Andrew. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, if you guys want to get mentored by Maddie, just reach out to him. I'm not really doing any mentoring right now. I plan on doing some mentoring this year, but I just haven't really gotten to it. I still got to make a bunch of videos for the new stuff that we've been doing. So I got to make videos for the breakout V3 continuation. It's a super simple strategy, but I'll make a video for it so that you guys refer back to it. And then also the high-low scalp V2. So I gotta make some videos for that. I gotta make videos for this new trailing stop indicator. Once I'm done with those videos, then I'll probably try to put together some sort of curriculum so that we can get back into mentoring. So hopefully by the end of the month. And then there's like a couple other trading groups that want me to do some interviews for them. So I got to do that stuff too. Which I don't mind. I'm always down to help other people out, right? Even other trading groups, if they want to interview me and ask me questions about trading, because I've been trading for so long. There's a lot of people in this group who started their own trading groups, and I'm always down to give back, right? I help these people like get good at trading and get better, and I'm always willing to help them with wherever life takes them. All right, so we got the 1 minute level liquidities right here. So you guys can see the green levels that I marked up right there. They played out perfect. This only works well when you have a good direction of price. So with these 1 minute level liquidities, guys, whenever I see a London session that's like super heavy. So for example, again, right here, whenever I see a London session that's super heavy like this, then I'll start marking up level 1 liquidity or 1 minute level liquidities. So I think I'm going to try to get onto the live sessions a little earlier so that we can do a full analysis. We'll do an analysis of what we normally do, and then I'll also do an analysis of the London session so that we can kind of see if this will help us with our trading for the day. Because for example, if I didn't introduce this to you guys today, like how it was bearish, and we only looked at retail sentiment, like we'd be kind of screwed, right? Because we'd only be looking for buys here, and there was no buys here that really came up. There were mostly sells. So I'll I'm always looking to improvise. Like that's the thing with trading. With trading, you have to always improvise. If I see things that look better for whatever trading that we're doing for the day, then I'll introduce it and I'll help you guys kind of understand that a little better. So whenever the market adjusts, we'll be able to adapt with it super quickly because I already kind of know how the market moves. Um, so liquidity here got hit too, or liquidity got hit on this chart, and then the high lows here got broken as well. So again, price broke past this level here. And there was a high-low scalp that came up right there. It looks like it already hit TP. Yeah. So we had a high-low scalp right here. Original high-low scalp broke past this lower low. As I mentioned, for these high-low scalps, I typically look for lower lows or higher highs. Price broke past it right there. Entry would have happened down there. Liquidity over here is getting hit on multiple levels. So you guys can see there's a lot of entries here. It's just not entries that I'm personally comfortable with taking. And Nathan here just missed all of the liquidity. There was a 1 minute liquidity and there was a higher level liquidity here. If you guys remember, the blue lines are going to be the higher levels, right? These are taken on higher time frames. The red levels are on lower time frames and the green levels are the 1 minute. So a ton of liquidity here just got hit for anybody who was looking to take any of these levels of liquidity. So if you guys took those trades, nice work. If you guys didn't, again, it's completely fine. You know, this type of market is not the market that I'm necessarily looking to trade in. For me personally, I just know myself. I know if I see a market like this, it's usually it's going to be full of bad decisions for me personally. Like I'm going to FOMO into a lot of trades. I'm going to kind of force trades. I'm going to get in early. I think those are probably like the biggest things that people have problems with, right? It's FOMO, over trading, and getting in early. Getting in early is kind of like a mixture of over trading because you enter the trade before the setup comes or before it's confirmed, and you kind of enter all the setups that come up rather than looking for quality entries. So yeah, Nathan said he was trying to set it up, but it moved too quick. Yeah, I know it's tough, bro. Like when the volatility is high like this, you gotta be super quick. That's why I like better to just click and enter on Apex or Tradeovate or whatever people use. Um, yeah, I mean, if Apex continues to play out well, I'm just waiting for like some confirmation of payouts. Once people confirm that payouts have been coming out for Apex, like that for people that I know personally, then I'll sign up for Apex. Um, it's just gonna be tough because I can't trade multiple accounts. Like I can't trade like how I do for FTMO and stuff. But I mean, if that's the case and I can trade directly on TradingView, then so be it. I'll trade directly on TradingView and then I'll just use Apex. So, all right, guys, it's 7:42 right now. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. As you can see, price is extremely overextended at this point. So I'm not really expecting anything else to happen here that's going to be really worth the risk. So measuring it from this higher high down to this current point, price is down 1,000 pips already. And at this point, I'm expecting some sort of retracement. But I wouldn't take any buys. So it's probably going to retrace, but I'd probably be careful with any buys unless it's like a really good one. So for example, right here, there's a double body. You might set up for a breakout V3 continuation if price continues to climb up. So basically, you need this candle here to close green. Once it closes green, you'll look for it to climb up higher. And then from there, you'll probably look for, opportunity at that point. Yeah, nice. CC said he'll give him fly over this year to sit down and show you how he's been entering. You're gonna be like, really, that's it? Yeah, no, for sure. Sisu has like some of the most basic strategies, interesting strategies. If you guys ever want to work with Sisu, the only thing with Sisu is that Sisu is not going to have patience for majority of people out there. So you got to be a fast learner of Sisu. You have to really get it right away. And I'm sure a lot of you guys here, if you guys have tried to mentor with Sisu, Sisu doesn't have patience for the BS. So just keep that in mind. I know Sisu and Matt, you're still doing some mentoring. I'm not mentoring right now at all. I still have to have our mentoring session, so I'm gonna hold that off until I finish all the videos for all of the current stuff, so that you guys can watch those videos and then we can have better questions once the session comes around. So I think we'll push our mentoring session for this month to maybe next week once I'm done with all of the videos. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 7:45 right now. It's getting closer to 8 o'clock. You guys can see how the ATR is down below 15 now. And price is just going back and forth, starting to consolidate here. So yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I don't really see too much happening here, so I'm not expecting anything else to really come up. And I think I'm about ready to wrap this up soon. Unless there's questions. If there's questions, I'll stay on and answer whatever questions you guys have. Yeah, Shannon's asking, didn't know you're on Apex CC. Are you available for mentoring? Yeah, I think the two main people here who are on Apex, I know CT's on Apex too, but he's not mentoring anybody. And speaking of the devil, he just joined into the Zoom. CT just joined the room. I was just talking about you right now. So I think the main people, the admins that are currently using Apex is Maddie, Sisuk, and CT. CT is not really mentoring. I know CT has been busy, but he's also using Apex, I believe. But yeah, Maddie and Sisuk are still mentoring and using Apex. So for a lot of you guys who are using Apex, those are probably the two guys that you want to reach out to. All right, guys, ATR is below 15. It's now 14. At this point, I think it's about time to wrap this up. So if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to finish this up soon. Martha said, is this the year for the K2 meetup in person? Possibly. Possibly. It's I got a lot of stuff going on this year, so I don't know if I'll be able. Well, if someone else plans it, I'll be there. But I don't know if I can plan anything. I have my wedding this year, so I'm super busy with a lot of stuff. Maybe towards the end of the year, we'll see. I know a lot of people have been wanting to meet up. Zachary's asking if there's a video for the trailing stop indicator. Not yet. So that's one of the videos that I have to put together. I mean, it's not really that difficult. So here, I'll just go over what the trailing stop indicator does real quick. But I will make a video. Zachary, don't worry. That video is coming. That's gonna be one of the main videos to focus on. So if you guys have not, here, I'll do it on a clean chart. Let me see if I can open a clean chart here. Clean scalp liquidity. Here, let's see. All right, I'll just open this testing indicator here. So I'll just show you guys how this how the trailing stop indicator works. Stop. All right, so the trailing stop indicator, basically all it does is it allows you to identify where your stop should be. So like depending on how you guys want to trade, it wasn't necessarily meant for the lower time frames, but it doesn't mean that it can't be used for lower time frames. So like for example, if you wanted to take, say, a V1 variation and you just wanted to keep writing it down. So say, for example, right here, I'm just going to use this as an example. This is like, and this is meant for the higher time frames, but you can use it for lower time frames. So say, for example, right here, you saw a V1 variation, right? V1 variation, and you think price is going to come down further. So you would enter a sell right here. Your stop loss can be placed right here at this red line, right? 35. And your TP is just unlimited. So basically, what you're doing here is as price continues to move lower, you see how this red line here moves down? When this red line continues to move down lower, what you're supposed to do is just trail it with your stop loss. So your stop loss never goes up. Your stop loss started right here and it just continues to go lower. And as this red line continues to drop lower, you just keep dropping it lower and lower with it. So you see how the red line kind of comes up a little bit. You don't move it any higher. You just leave it where it's at. And then at this point, the red line is down here. So now your stop loss is at break even. And now you're just trailing your stop loss lower and lower into profit. Right here, right? This blue line is now your stop loss. Drops lower. You have an unlimited TP. Drops lower right here. And at this point, this is where price spikes up. And you get stopped out right there in profit. So your stop loss and profit would be stopped out right there. And then you pull out for 37 points, which is 370 pips. That's basically how you would use it. It works better on higher time frames. So if you want to trade something like on the 15-minute, like say, for example, you're just looking for momentum trades, right? So for example, right here, this is where price is currently at right now. So say, for example, you wanted to get in for a momentum scalp on, say, like the 15-minute time frame. You enter a short position right here. Not to say that this doesn't work on the lower time frames, but I pretty much created this for the higher time frames. So right here, same thing. As a red line comes lower, you kind of just trail it lower and lower until you get down to like your stop losses and profit. And that's how you would figure out how you wanted to do it. If you wanted to trade for a 1-to-1, so for example, right here, if you just wanted to see where your wide stop loss would be, you would just put your stop loss right here. And then you would also do this at 102. And then you could go for a 1-to-1 right there. And again, it would work. So these red lines are they're just guidelines for where to put your stop loss. And then if you want to go for a 1-to-1 or if you want to go for a 1-to-2, you can do that. Or if you just want to trail it, you can trail it as well. It's used for a lot of different things. And then I think the biggest thing that we use it for is going to be the ATR. So for me personally, I don't really use this unless I'm trading on the higher time frames. But during these live sessions, you guys can see down here, this is what we mainly use it for, the ATR. So the ATR basically shows you what the average true range is. And if you want to see if market is pretty much volatile or slow, you just look down here. If the ATR is below 10 points, it's very slow. If it's below 15, it's okay, but still a little slow. If it's around 15 and above, then it's pretty decent. If it's above 20, it's very volatile. Above 25, it's super volatile. So I'll probably put some sort of guideline when I create the actual video, but that's pretty much how this indicator works. Super simple. You can use it on any asset. You know, if you want to trade Forex, I know a lot of people here still like to trade Forex, and you want to trade something like GJ, that's a favorite for a lot of people. The indicator works there as well, right? You see a buy signal, you want to take this for a buy, and you want to trail your stop. You know, it'll start from here. And then as the green line moves up, you just move your stop loss up in profit higher and higher. And then again, right here, you just keep trailing it higher and higher until it gets to this point. And when this red candle comes down and hits it, you get stopped out in profit right there for 41 pips. So there's a ton of ways to use this indicator. I'll create a video for that more specifically later on in the week once I create that video. All right, so other than that, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. I think that is about it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, oh yeah, actually, Maddie's right. So we might be having a K2 meetup in Hawaii. Let me see where is Kip still in here? Kip's actually gone. So Kip actually wants to set up a K2 meeting in Hawaii. I don't know if anybody here is actually located in Hawaii, but it's like a little vacation. We're doing more so like a K2 admin meetup, but I guess we'll open it up to whoever wants to come. But once Kip sets that up, I'll let you guys know if anybody wants to do that. It's just kind of the time difference sucks in Hawaii. So I personally don't like being in Hawaii because you got to wake up like 3 hours ahead. So we'll have to be up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to be trading. So that's like one of the downsides. All right, guys, there was a buy signal right here. It didn't follow with a green candle, so there's no entry here for a buy. Yeah, there's just no entries here. Price is going back and forth. You guys can see the consolidation down here. If we go over here to our main chart, you can see prices, our clean chart. Price is just consolidating right here, and I'm not expecting too much to happen. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. Just a reminder, I took no trades for today, so my accounts are pretty much flat for the moment. Looking over here, we have Lila with a total profit of 2,745 for the day. Nice work, Lila. And we have Nathan over here with a total profit of 1,010 for the day. All wins. So I think that's it for the profits. Let me check the chat real quick. Steven said, if so, if we get an invalid signal, do we just do the opposite? No, you don't. That's how you blow your account, Steven. Don't do that. So for sure, don't do that. Don't create your own rules. That's exactly how the strategy is not applied. So, all right, guys, other than that, I think that's it for today, Steven. Just stick to what we're doing here on the live session, Steven, because I don't want to hear you tell me that you've blown your account once you get off this live session because you're doing like something random. So no, that's not a strategy. Go back and review the videos. So Steven keeps repeating that he's down 3,000. If you listen to me, Steven, you wouldn't have been down 3,000. You entered a trade when I told you it was risky. When I said I wasn't entering a trade, you got to learn to listen, bro. Once you learn to listen, you'll be consistent, but you're kind of doing what you've been doing from the beginning, and you just end up in the same cycle. You know, you do well, blow your count, do well, blow your count. Yeah, come back fresh tomorrow, Steven, because and just, you know, practice on listening and focusing on like what I'm saying here in the live session. Like that's really all you have to do. If you just listen, you could do so much better. But I think your problem is just really just listening. Like Maddie said here, he said, Steven should have logged off when I told you. But it's okay, Steven. We're gonna help you out. So we'll help you out moving forward, but you just got to work on your listening and stop doing random stuff on the charts. So, all right, guys.